Thank you.
Miss Melodee Meyer.
Thank you.
Mwah. So if my legs were as long as hers, I would have been a world champion.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Black Belt Power. We have many of the authors of this book here today. If you're an author in this book, put up your hands. Right here, Jeff Cork, Steve Selby, Dave Wheaton, Melodee Schumann, Master Clark, Master Cassidy, and Randy Reed too. This is a compilation book of martial arts stories that we can use now in our martial arts schools to tell people about what martial arts is really about. So instead of having to put out an ad and say, martial arts will help you be a better person, or you can learn self-defense, people can read this at their own pace. They can find a story that resonates for them, and they can learn more about martial arts. I can never do this in an advertisement, this book, okay? So my goal today is to inspire you to write a book, to be a bestseller, no less. Who here, if you knew how to do it, and if you knew what to write about that would make you a bestseller, how many of you would write a book this year? How many of you would do that? Okay, only 5 of you. So that means I would like just to speak to you today. The rest of you can have a break and go to the bar. No, but I believe that, so what I'm going to do today, instead of telling you how to do it and what to write about, which I can also, we can discuss that all afternoon at Coconuts if you like. What I'd like to do this morning is take this time to tell you why. So if you didn't put your hand up, my goal is by the end of this time together that you would have your hand up saying, yes, I want to write a book this year. Now, why this year? Well, because you can do and write a book in a very, very short period of time. You do not need to lock yourself in a log cabin for 2 years and write out your life story. In fact, very few people's life story right now is interesting to other people, okay? So you might just be wasting your time for 2 years, all right? I'm going to tell you what to write about, how to write it, but more importantly, why you want to write a book. Now, who would like a copy of this book? Okay, sir? There you go. Whoa, sorry. Can you pass that back to, who else would like, okay. Could you pass me the book, please? Who else? Okay. Anybody else? Okay. I'm going to actually write down a number. You can all download this book for free. How's that? How do I open this up? Okay. 805. That's Santa Barbara. What is it? 716-6233 for a free book. Okay, and you guys can all read it because these stories are worth spreading, and you can give this. You can have someone else download this book too if you want. And so make sure you get that. Now, why do I want to give away this book for free? So people think that making money with a book, or the reason why you want to write a book, is to make money. And I'm going to show you how you can make money with a book, but that's one very, very small reason to write a book. By having my book on Amazon, and it is a #1 international bestseller on Amazon, I don't make any money on Amazon. That is not how I make money with a book. So if you stay tuned right through the end, I'll tell you how you make money with a book. 10 different ways you can make money with a book, okay? But so the 2 questions I get asked the most is how to write a book and what to write it about. But when we discover the why, those things take care of themselves very, very easily. Now, the #1 reason why you want to write a book is positioning. So brand recognition is all about how you're positioned in your community, how you're positioned in the minds of the people who find you online or in person or in any of the different ways that people find you. It is what your position is in there. So Timothy was saying how you want to be, #1 on your reviews and so forth. Those are all really great strategies. But I'm telling you, we are in a new economy. We are in a celebrity economy. Did you know that someone could become president of the United States by being a reality star? Like, who would have ever thought? But that's because we are in a new culture. We are in where people will believe and trust someone that they perceive to be have their best interest in heart. Someone that they perceive. Doesn't mean that they do, it's their perception, it's their positioning. So what we want to do is position ourselves as experts in our field. We want to be held up, and so if you are up against your competition, it's not only how many reviews that they have, but who is the actual authority. And so it is that positioning that's going to actually give you the edge. So when someone is an author of a book, they actually gain credibility, they gain more authority, but more importantly, you become a face to your business. When Master Dave and I opened up our school 15 years ago in Santa Barbara, we knew no one, and we were trying to come up with what's the name going to be of our business. Well, we wanted to do traveling, we wanted our business to be successful, but we didn't want to have to be there all the time. We were very clear about that. So we thought, you know what we're going to do? We're going to name our business not after ourselves, but we're going to name it something so that no matter who is teaching the class, people won't feel ripped off. If it's Dave's Academy, then if Dave's not teaching, then people feel like, oh, I'm missing out. So we wanted to do something a little bit more corporate. Okay, that was our idea 15 years ago. Great idea. Also, in Santa Barbara, they had laws about what you could use as put as signage. They have very strict signage laws, and you can only put up what it is that the name of your business, the absolute name of your business. So that's how we came up with this very clever name called Martial Arts Family Fitness. Okay. Couldn't get more generic than that, but we said everything we were doing in our name. So we said we did martial arts, we did fitness classes, and we put our target audience in there too. We wanted families. So we did that all with our name, and that was perfect because we could put on the outside of our building, and we did drum up. We didn't have money for advertising, but we had people walking in because of that name. That was great 15 years ago. But now, when we're in a different culture, in a different society that really treasures personal connection, we're finding that, and all the polls are showing, that less than 20% of people trust corporations. Okay, and as far as millennials go, less than 16% believe in advertising, believe anything that's advertised. So when you advertise, you're actually turning people off. What? That's not fair. Okay, so what is it that's going to turn you into a face where you become the person behind the business or the person in front of the business that will elevate your business and be more recognizable, but more importantly, positioned as a person rather than just as a corporation, which are seen, and the polls show that they're seen as greedy and manipulative and all those kinds of things. We stand for something different, so we have to be presented as a person. Now, does that mean now I want to dive into the dojo and be there all the time and be the face that greets every person? No. It's about creating those values, as Mr. Crook was talking about, so that each person represents it. But how are you going to get your values out there, and how are you going to present yourself as a person and an authority above that competition? Well, a book does that. When you've written the book on the subject, people don't even read the book. I'm going to tell you that. That's a little secret. Hardly anyone reads the book, but that you wrote the book, they read that part, and they see you now as the expert, and you have just edged out your competition with that. So there's your number one. Another reason why you want to be writing a book is to help build your business. So you actually use it as a lead, as Mr. Reed was saying. You can use it to attract leads. You can give it away. Well, I don't have time to tell you all today, but I have and I can send you 15 ways to use a book to generate leads. All right, we put it. Does anybody give away a free camp or a free week or a free month of martial arts to charities and so forth for their auctions and that? Well, we include a book now with that. So you're not just giving them a gift certificate. It's a book. We put it on a board. We tie it with a white belt. We make it a presentation, so when they're doing their silent auctions, there's something that they look at, and it's like, what? These people are in a book? And so we're adding credibility in that way. So you can help build your business and use it as a lead generator and as a bonus for people as they walk in. So when we have someone come in who's interested in martial arts, we want them to know that martial arts, at least at our school, is about more than kicking and punching. And if you read these stories that are in this book, you'll see common threads. Regardless of what art it is that they teach, you'll see the value that martial arts brings. So now we're building our business, and we're really honing in on our position in our community. I also wanted a presentation. You know, one nice thing about having slides and so forth, then you know where you are in your talk. But that's okay. I'd rather be out here in the ocean. Okay, so yes, your book becomes like your business card, but it also builds your business in a way that you can become a speaker, and you can find other ways to get out in the community. So I've been written up now in magazines, have been asked to come and speak at different events, because as an author, they see you more as an authority and that you have something to say. So you can build your business that way with speaking gigs, or even doing some consulting for other businesses in your community. So if you belong to the Chamber of Commerce, because you've written a book, people perceive you as more successful, and you become like a resource for them in your community as well. Another reason why you want to write a book, and I hope that you will write a book this year, is to help others. So you know something and you have a message. In fact, that might even be why you're in martial arts to begin with, is because you have something to share that you want to spread out in the world and share with other people, and you can do that through a book. Is there something that you say all the time, that you talk about all the time to your students? There's your book. Why not put it down, just formalize it in paper? I have probably 3 more books coming out this year. I've already done another second #1 international bestseller that's out already. I've got probably 3 more lined up this year. How am I doing that? Because I'm collecting together material that's already done. Things that I've already written, things that I've already been putting out there for years in curriculum and in talks, that now I can actually just package and put together in a book, in a new and way that people can actually digest it at their own pace. So you have something to share, I know you do, and something that is going to be beneficial to other people, and this is a great way to be of service to your community and to your students. Then the fourth reason why you want to write a book this year is to help yourself and to help your family. Okay, this is called win-win. Now, there's many ways to do that, and there's many reasons why you want to do that. It's actually a lot of fun, and you're expressing your creativity. You can leave a legacy. Of course, it feels great, and it's a wonderful accomplishment. Just like, you know, earning your black belt, to have written a book and for it to become a bestseller is like, makes you feel really good. But you can also make money, and this is where I want to tell you some of the ways that you can make money writing a book. Is anybody interested in that? Okay, so let me just back up. So when I was writing and putting this book together, actually for Black Belt Power, I had somebody say, well, who's going to get the royalties? If I write a book, if I contribute a story, am I going to get the royalties? It's like, really? You think there's going to be lots of money in royalties? So a bestseller book, do you know how many books you have to sell to be like on New York Times bestseller list? Anybody got an idea? Okay, I'll tell you. It's about an average of 10,000 books in less than a week. Okay, that's how you get on that bestseller list. Now, that's not guaranteed. Depends on what other books are coming out in your genre during that time. But that is a lot of books. Okay, so that is a international bestseller, like on the New York Times. So 10,000 books, you think, oh, well, that's pretty good. Well, the chances of you being that, very, very little, right? That's okay. That's not why we're writing the book. We've got those 3 other reasons we're writing the book. But even if you did, let's say you did 1,000, which is also amazing to sell 1,000 books. Your royalty on that is maybe around $1, maybe $3. Okay, so that's how much money you can expect to make on royalties for a book. That is not where the money is. Okay, I have a friend who is actually a very well-known author. She's written several books. She gets advances from her publishing house because her books are well read, and she does not have a lot of money. Okay, this is not a glamorous job where she makes tons of money. This is something that she just loves to do, and it supplements the family's income. But it is not a huge money maker as far as that goes. But you do make some little bit and royalties. You actually can use your book to either sell yourself or to use as a speaker. So if you would like to speak, how many of you would like to have more some speaking experience, get out there and speak in your community? Okay, so here's the thing. When you're speaking, you have greater influence because you are the person in front of the room. So my suggestion, if you're not speaking right now, you want to be speaking. Whether it's to that room full of kids at the local elementary school, or whether you can get, the Chamber of Commerce, do a talk there, at any of the business forums in your community, you want to get up in front of people as much as you can and be able to speak about what it is that you do. So when you get a chance, of course, you're giving them also some great information that you can apply to their business or their life, but they're getting to see you and getting to know you. Well, if you can leave behind a book or reference your book, the best way to get on the stages is with a book, but then also your gift and way to promote yourself and your business is through your book. We talked about already about consulting, but you can also we do a lot of trade and value add. So if I'm going to go someplace and I want to, I'm looking at for future business, when I bring a book with me, I can either add it to what it is that I'm presenting, or I can, I'll give you an example. So if I'm going to go speak and they can't afford to pay me to speak at an event. So like, okay, great. Well, you know what? I totally would love to speak at your event and help your customers in that way. All I ask is that you buy 100 books. Okay, now I know there's going to be 300 people there. If you buy 100 books, then I'd be happy to come and speak for free. Now, why is that important? Well, because these places, they may not have a budget for a speaker, but they do have a budget for resources. So they can tap into a different budget to pay for your books. Now you've got 100 books, but they have 300 people, and they go, well, why don't we just buy them for everyone? It's like, great, and I'll even give you a deal. So now you've sold your book, but more importantly, you're getting those books in the hands of people. So that is why I say your first book that you write shouldn't be that one that you feel like is the thing that could change the world, because I'll tell you, there's nothing that's going to stop you from writing more than if you think that your book is going to change the world, because it's too big of a burden, all right? That's like too precious. So the first book you want to write is a business book, something that you can use in your business about something that you already are talking about all the time that is going to promote you as an expert in that particular subject. So you want to be known as, like, in fact, even with coming up with the title of this book, is like, I thought, if this were the only book that I was ever able to get off the ground, what do I want to be introduced as? Melodee Meyer of Black Belt Power. Yeah, baby. Okay, I like that. So you're coming up, there's a whole strategy for coming up with your title, with your subtitle, depending on what it is and the reason why you're writing it. So if you haven't got it yet so far, the thing that you really want to get in your mind first is why you would want to write a book, because it is challenging. Believe me, I thought I was going to get this book out in 6 weeks. Like, yeah, everybody send me your stories. We'll be all good. Yeah, no, that's not what happened. But there are challenges, but it will get you through if you have a really, really strong why, and you can see at the end what it is you're going to be able to produce. And it is something that you can leave with your students and leave that is going to outlive you. Okay, it's one of those things that you will be leaving behind for those people and to help them in their life. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about how I have a couple more minutes, right? A couple more minutes? Excellent. Okay, so there are many ways to write a book. You do not need to be a writer. Okay, there are many resources available now for people who want to get things out. My favorite way to get out content, well, first of all, the easiest way is to use things you've already written and repackage them. You can even hire an editor that will help you put it together in a way and outline it in a way that would be easy to digest. But my favorite way to actually get a book written is to perform it or to actually speak it. Okay, so if you are in front of a class, let's say you do a mat chat every day, and you come out with who does mat chats? Yes, at your school? Okay, and then do you decide in advance what your mat chat's going to be about, or do you just kind of wing it when you get out there and see how you feel? No, you plan it? Good. So if you don't do that, please do that. You plan your mat chat. How about scheduling your mat chats so that you have an overarch over all of your mat chats, that now each of these mat chats becomes a chapter in your book. So if you've got a 10-week curriculum and you do 10 different mat chats, what if you just recorded yourself doing your mat chat? Okay, it has much more energy and life because you're in the moment with those kids or with those adults. When you're speaking, the actual performing of it brings a life to it and brings a life to your writing, and you start to have your own voice. So you don't need to be a good writer, you need to be a good presenter, which you already are if you're in front of the classroom. So you just record your mat chat. Then you can record it on I'll give you another tip here. There's an app called rev.com, R-E-V.com. You record it on Rev, and then you just push a button and send it to them, and they transcribe it and send it to you within 2 hours. Okay? You collect all those together, edit it yourself, or have somebody else edit it, put it together, and you've got a book done. You do an introduction and a conclusion, and you've got a book. Does that sound easy? Yeah. So, like I say, there's challenges, and having some support along the way, and then knowing how to promote it, how to publish it. All of these things are the hows, okay? But you can learn those, okay? I do workshops on those things where we actually learn how to get those things done and how to become a bestseller. But you don't need that until you have the why, and then what? What is it that you want to share? So just think about what do you want to be known for as an expert in, and then talk to me this afternoon. We'll figure out a way to get it out there for you. Sound good? Thank you. So I was just reminded that I didn't give you the little code you have to for this text. You need to text this number for the free book and put in the word bestseller, one word, bestseller, to that phone number, 805-716-6233, and then the book will download for free for you, okay?
Great. We got a mark. Okay.